us now. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. First of all, let me get to the important stuff here. The last time you were on the show, I made a very controversial statement to you, one that I have come to regret. I admitted to you and all the listeners that I had never eaten at the Smokehouse in Charleston. Now, you graciously pointed out to me the error of my ways and invited me to join you for lunch one day. And in the interest of bipartisanship, I joined you. I had the Reuben. You had the baked steak, and let me say it was phenomenal. Now, I enjoyed the looks of the baked steak so much that when I went back, I had a business lunch in there with a friend of mine. I went back and I ordered the baked steak, and it was awesome. So I just want to say thank you for pointing out the error of my ways and for reaching across the aisle to me, Senator.
Sure. Well, if I've done anything right in this world, it's good to know that I've introduced you to the Smokehouse and Mike and Patty there. They do great work.
And if we can do this, why can Pelosi and McConnell not do this?
Listen, I agree. Whether it's steak or a glass of bourbon, whatever it takes to get it done.
We didn't do the bourbon with the Reuben. Just for the record,
yes.
We did not do that at 12 noon. I'm respectable. Wait till at least 12:30. I'm kidding. So what have you been up to lately?
Well, not much. Just we're in interim sessions right now, and I figured I'd take the opportunity, and I called you yesterday to come down here and make an announcement.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to announce to your listeners and the folks of the 8th District that I will run for re-election for the 8th District State Senate seat here in 2022. This is my home. I was born here. I've raised my kids here. My wife and I work here, and I'm not going to wait for the legislature to figure out what the lines are. Mm-hmm. My heart's always been here. So I wanted to make sure folks knew that and understood it, and I look forward to the next year, it looks like, of campaigning.
So so here's the big announcement. You are running for re-election, so yes. I appreciate you for breaking that on my show today. You mentioned the redrawing of the lines. I've attended two of the hearings. I attended the one last week here in Charleston at the Culture Center. It was also the one in Putnam County at the courthouse. That was the first one, I think. Any thoughts on how you'd like to see that go, or how you think it'll go, or just any thoughts in general?
Well, I mean, I'm not part of the process in that regard, so yeah. I can only tell you what I've seen thus far and what folks may have seen thus far too. I think. I have faith in what Senator Trump will do on the Senate side, mm-hmm. And I think that he will take all the folks' opinions and consideration from these meetings that they've had, and will put it together to where people feel comfortable with who they vote for and who represents them. And I don't doubt that that's what he's going to try to do, while at the same time keeping districts within the same consistency of folks and interests that they are today. So I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know if there will be too much change to the Senate map because Republicans have been successful with the map they've got, and I don't know why you would throw that out.
The game plan worked.
But we'll see. But I will say this. I mean, as far as announcing, I look forward to continuing the good work that I think I've done thus far and the work of the caucus. I've been successful in protecting local control and allowing municipalities to make those decisions, protecting the state match for West Virginia State University, protecting the workers over at Mardi Gras, and to continue the good work of what the Senate caucus does that Democrats do. We introduce legislation every year, that creates jobs or would create jobs and invests in West Virginia and gives people a reason to stay here. Increases in law enforcement wages, addressing nurse shortages, making sure are allowing trade school training to take place in middle school and in high school, so we can get people on that path to take advantage of Senator Carmichael's last dollar in bill that we passed 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I look forward to continuing to do that as individually and as a member of the caucus, and infrastructure. One of the things that Senator Jeffries allowed me to do was co-sponsor a piece of legislation that made it easier for municipalities to access funds for water projects in Bancroft, and that has been a success. We were able to get that through in the legislature. So those are the things I think that are important to the people of my district and the people of West Virginia.
We're talking to Senator Rich Lindsay, who has made the announcement he is going to be running for re-election. Again, we don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but you said that you really don't care what it looks like. You're going to run for re-election. You're going to get out there and you're going to fight.
This is my home, and I owe it to the people not to wait to see what the lines look like.
Let's talk about COVID for a moment. There has been a lot of people in the media, and there have been others that have taking the governor to task, saying that maybe we should be doing more. I was looking at these statistics now. As far as when you look at public schools right now, we have all but 2 counties in the state now have some sort of a mask mandate for schools, and those are Pocahontas and Putnam are the 2 that don't have any sort of mask mandates for staff or students in schools. And when it comes to the vaccines, West Virginia, we started out, just like fire, getting people vaccinated. Now we learned that West Virginia is the slowest to get vaccinated as we've trailed off. We went from first to last as far as getting vaccines. What do you think? Is there any role that the governor, the legislature should be playing in encouraging people? I mean, I know the governor has tried. He's not been so much about mandates. He said that he in his briefing yesterday didn't see that there was a reason for any sort of mask mandates. Any thoughts on masking or on the vaccination?
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I think yesterday was, I don't know if you were able to listen to it. I think Senator and Dr. Takubo did a very good job of explaining to the public the need of the vaccine, its effect, and how important it is, and the story of Miss Lanier and her son. I think the 2 things I would say is, one, stay out of the way of the decisions made by universities, boards of education, and private employers with regard to how they want to protect their employees, customers, and patients and students. There was a push, as you know, it's lost some steam, but there was a push to have a special session to step in the way of those decisions, and I think that's the wrong way to go. And then I would say, just please, if you're an elected official, stop misinforming the public on the efficacy and the effectiveness of vaccines and masks. I think we, as elected officials, have a responsibility not only to represent the folks that we represent and do good by them, but we have a responsibility like lawyers do, and this may come as a shock to some folks. Lawyers have a responsibility that when they file complaints or pleadings, they have to be based in fact, okay? The same rule applies to legislators. You can't just go out there because you saw something on social media that suggests that masks are more harmful for children than not, and put that out there as a centerpiece and a talking point, because, like it or not, folks do listen to people who represent them. They listen to your office, being a senator, being a delegate. It carries with it stature and responsibility that needs to apply to the public.
Yeah, and this is where we are now, and I don't really, and Senator, this is my take on it. I've said this on the show many times. I chose to be vaccinated. Most of my friends, people that are close to me, have chosen to be vaccinated, taken the precautions, and so on and so forth. If you choose not to be vaccinated, okay, I feel that is your decision, but I think that you owe it to yourself, your friends, your loved ones, your family, your coworkers, church people, whatever it is, to at least get the facts on it and then make the decision. And if you don't think that it is right for you, you're concerned, okay, that's fine. But when you see all these outrageous things that are posted on social media, they're absolutely untrue. I read a statement this morning from somebody saying on one of the news sites, and it was a person saying the majority of people that are in hospital are people that are vaccinated. That is simply not true. Mm-hmm. It's 85, depending on which metric you look at, and Senator Takubo talked about it yesterday, you're looking at like 85%. If not higher, of people that are dying are unvaccinated. That is a fact.
Yes.
That can't be debated. It's a fact.
Yes. And, I took last week, I took a calls of a number of hospital personnel who were upset about, for example, CAMC requiring the vaccine. I followed up with CAMC to see whether or not there's an alternative if the employee tests and wears PPE and wears masks and stays, keep social distance. But one of the things that a woman said was, well, I read somewhere that if you get the vaccine that you won't be able to get pregnant or you'll suffer a miscarriage. And what it was I looked it up. It was a manipulation of the numbers. 1 in 4 women have a miscarriage, and it was correlation, not causation. People would call in after the vaccine and said they had a miscarriage. Mm-hmm. Well, it was not abnormal. It was the normal rate.
The statistics didn't change with COVID.
Exactly. And that's what people are hearing. And we have a duty to, and I thank you for what you just said, to push back and inform the public, just like Dr. Takubo did yesterday. Yeah,
and it is worth mentioning that this is a Republican that we're talking about,
yes.
and a Republican governor and so on and so forth. So,
yes.
Well, Senator Lindsay, I appreciate you being on the show today. You got us some valuable information out here, and you're always welcome on the show. You're always welcome with your food tips on some great restaurants to dine in as well.
Happy to share.
And so the big announcement is you are running for re-election. We wish you the best, sir.
Thank you.
All right, 10 minutes away from 10.